I thought my running back rankings were locked in. We're this close to the season, not much is changing, right? Jeffrey, bring up the tweet.
Yes, sir. The Packers have placed running back A.J. Dillon on season-ending IR.
Season-ending IR. That is so unfortunate for A.J. Dillon, who's never really been able to get it going. But I at least thought he'd be getting carries in this offense. And with him going down for the season, plus Marshawn Lloyd dealing with a hamstring injury, Josh Jacobs is going to be the benefactor of that. They don't have any other options. Green Bay likes to use multiple running backs. They're not going to be able to do that, at least not for the first couple weeks. So I had to go back in the lab and tinker with his rating a little bit. And you know what? He moved up. As you can see here, I previously had him as running back 4 in tier 5. Well, with him being by himself for at least the first few weeks, he's going to get those extra carries, probably get an extra touchdown. He moves up to the top of my tier. What separates him from Joe Mixon? They're both in great offenses. He's going to get goal line work, and he's going to get most of the other work as well. Josh Jacobs is looking pretty good. He's still not in this upper tier with
Travis Etienne Jr., James Cook, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Isaiah Pacheco, and Rashee White.
But he's knocking on the door. Jeffrey, who are we talking about next?
Kyren Williams.
Ah, yes. Kyren Williams. Sean McVay came out and said that Kyren Williams will be returning punts. And I've got a lot of questions about that because I have him fairly high up. So I think it's fair. I do have him as my running back 6 after all. So how do I feel about this? I'm not particularly happy about it, but he doesn't drop in my rankings. The rules have changed this year, so kick return is a little safer. It does add more situations where he could get injured, but it gives him a teensy bit of opportunity for a breakout touchdown. Odds are that won't happen. But I'm not overly concerned. Cooper Kupp was used as a kick returner years ago. I think that Kyren Williams should be fine, and we already knew he was going to be splitting work with Blake Corum. I was hoping that he could stay more fresh with Corum there. Now that he's going to be returning kicks, he's going to be more involved. But it does show one thing. Sean McVay trusts Kyren Williams. You're not just going to make him your kick returner if you don't trust him. So I think he's still going to be good. All right, Jeffrey, who's next?
Rashee Rice.
Rashee Rice had some legal issues over the offseason, and there's been a concern that he's going to miss games. Well, it's coming out now that the NFL won't be taking any action until after the legal proceedings. That could be later this year. It could get pushed to next year. Could happen during the offseason. So we don't actually know if and when he gets suspended. Right now, I think he's a value in drafts. I'm tracking him as going in the 7th round, which is wild. You're telling me the wide receiver 1, not the target leader, but the wide receiver 1 for a Patrick Mahomes team is going in round 7? Yes, please. I'm picking up Rashee Rice wherever I can. I already have him in Dynasty. I'm actually willing to draft him as early as the 4th or 5th round. Rashee Rice is going to be good while he's on the field. I think the 5th round is that sweet spot. If you can get him in the 5th or the 6th, grab him a round or two early, just keep in mind, you're going to have to scroll down to get to him, which is why a lot of people are probably going to forget about him. But not you. You watch this channel. Well informed. Very demure. Very cutesy. Speaking of the Chiefs have made a couple moves recently. They dropped Kadarius Toney, which I'm not too upset about. They added Juju Smith-Schuster and Sanjay Piran to be a backup for Isaiah Pacheco. I think Isaiah Pacheco is dealing with something at the moment, so it's a solid signing to be a good backup.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Jeffrey?
I believe it is time to review the physically unable to perform list.
I agree. I think that's a fantastic idea, Jeffrey. Can you explain to the people what the physically unable to perform list is, also known as the PUP?
Of course, sir. In the NFL, a player can be on the PUP list for the first 4 weeks of the regular season, and then another 21 days to decide if they can join the 53-man roster. If the player doesn't start practicing or join the 53-man roster within the first 21 days, they'll stay on the PUP list for the rest of the season.
That last part I didn't remember. Good job, Jeffrey. So a player will be on the physically unable to perform list, or the PUP, for 4 weeks, and then the team gets another 21 days to activate them. That's a long time. Jeffrey, who are these players that's on this list? Just the fantasy relevant ones. I know there are other ones that matter, but this is a fantasy football channel. Bring them up one by one, and then let's talk about them.
Yes, sir. Jonathan Brooks.
I can see this one coming from a mile away. The kid was drafted knowing that he was injured. The odds that he was going to start the year, I thought were slim. He's now on the PUP, so at least 4 weeks he's going to be out. Plus a max of 21 days while the team gets him ready. That means that Chuba Hubbard is going to be a definite value in your drafts. 4 weeks of a running back one. Anybody doing 0 RB out there, Chuba Hubbard is now basically a must grab. Who's next?
Nick Chubb.
This is another one where I kind of saw this coming. I've been getting a lot of questions asked about how I feel about Nick Chubb. Why is he not in your top 20? Because I didn't even know if homie was going to play. And clearly he's not. So for at least 4 weeks, Jerome Ford is going to be the dude. Again, if you're doing 0 RB or if you need a running back late, Jerome Ford has 4 weeks of being the dude on a team that loves to run the ball. And they're pretty good at it. All right, Jeffrey, who's next?
Tyler Higbee.
That's fringe fantasy relevant. More targets for Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. There, that's fantasy relevant. Next.
TJ Hawkinson.
There it is, TJ Hawkinson. Another one where he got injured late. I'd be surprised if he started a year off healthy. He'll probably drop down in drafts, meaning if you do draft him, preferably only if you have an IR spot, you should be able to get him later. I'm not confident that he's going to be great when he gets back, but he's a tight end, not a wide receiver or a running back, not going to be doing as much cutting, so maybe he comes back a little better. I'm not a big fan of buying the injury dip. And I think that's it for the PUP. What's next?
The Pittsburgh Steelers have announced Russell Wilson as their starting quarterback.
That makes sense. Justin Fields is more of a project at the moment. Russell Wilson is going to be able to move the offense. I'm really not confident in either, but Russell Wilson makes sense. I feel like it makes a lot more sense to go from starting Russell Wilson to moving to Justin Fields compared to starting Justin Fields and moving to Russell Wilson. Not really confident in either, but I do think that Russell Wilson will be better for those weapons. Ooh, Jeffrey, I just thought of one. Deshaun Watson is still banged up, and I'm concerned. He has multiple fantasy options that fantasy players are going to be relying on. Amari Cooper's being drafted reasonably high, and people have really enjoyed drafting David Njoku in the middle to later rounds. I don't like Deshaun Watson not playing at all in the preseason. I'm concerned about his shoulder. I'm not going to lie, the Cleveland Browns make me a little nervous. Anything else, Jeffrey?
The Patriots have also named their starting quarterback. It will be Jacoby Brissett.
That one actually makes perfect sense to me. The team seems to be concerned about their offensive line protecting rookie Drake May. And have y'all seen who the Patriots are playing for the first 4 games? Let's go check that out. So they're starting 4 games. The Bengals, the Seahawks, the Jets, and the 49ers. I don't know about you, but if I had a shaky offensive line, I don't want my rookie developmental quarterback going up against the Jets or the 49ers. They gonna have that boy seeing ghosts. If we scroll down, it gets a little better. Dolphins, Texans, Jaguars, Jets again, you're not gonna be able to avoid that one. I think that Drake May will start against the Miami Dolphins. It's a home game against a divisional rival. Dolphins are high flying, so you might let Drake May sling it a little bit. I think that'll be a solid start for the kid. That's your news update. If you got some drafts coming up, I got a training course here and some mock drafts here. And don't forget to check out my rankings. This is a busy draft weekend. I'm gonna try to get you as much content as I can to help you with your draft. Please let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below. Good luck in your drafts. And don't forget, you got this. Talk to you soon. Peace.